when you're doing property management, you're seeing other wealthy people's books. So I'm seeing, because usually when you do property management, you make 2-3% of the income of whatever that person collects.
Okay.
And I'm seeing these developers making millions of dollars buying and flipping properties.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what are you doing? Painting walls, making nicer bathrooms, cleaning up sidewalks, parking lots, and you're making 7 figures plus on a single deal? Wow. And that's when I had that aha moment that property management, even though I couldn't be happier to have started there because I got my foot in the door. I understood the business from ground up. I did all the bullshit things that you need to do to get knowledge. Mm-hmm. That's not where you want to be as a future multimillionaire. You want to get on the development side, the flipping side. Property management is just a means to an end. So
you're looking at property management. I'm going to use this, build all the skills I need, but I'm eyeing these guys who are developing and flipping these huge developments.
For sure. And I want to stress this because so many people that follow me ask me, where should I start mm-hmm. when it comes to real estate? I cannot begin to express how important the knowledge I learned in that arena from property management, understanding the financing, the leasing, like every single thing that it takes to get the deal across the finish line, that you can't just become a developer and say, here's $1 million, I'm going to flip it. Well, you don't understand title, you don't understand escrow, you don't understand all these little nuances that are important in a deal.
Well, it's like they say it in every business, start as the janitor. Yeah. And learn everything from ground up, because if you want to be the boss one day, you're going to have to know what everybody on the team is doing.
I was picking up phone calls mm-hmm. of just talking to tenants of, hey, how are you? Well, how's it going? Creating those relationships, understanding tenant relations. Oh, I got a roof leak. Oh, my toilet's backed up. Oh, send somebody out there. It's like, yeah, you understand customer service and so many other things that come with that if you just try to start at the top.
So talk to us a bit about what you're learning in that property management time that you think now, looking forward, was so key for you.
So the first thing that was my biggest task was our books were done manually, our accounting books. So we had them all in like a notebook, and you write the tenant's name, the check receive date, how much it's for. The problem was there's no way to track if someone paid or didn't pay unless you manually look at every single tenant. And there was hundreds of tenants, so it's like, well, if this person forgot to pay, you'd have to go and check that every single time. So the first job I did was transfer it onto a program called Rent Manager, which was a accounting software that was new. Nothing compared to what you have now, but I ended up collecting, and I made a deal with them because I'm like, I guarantee you, your books are off and you're missing rent. I'm like, I'm going to get 10% of whatever I collect if there's anything that's outstanding.
Wow.
$750,000 was outstanding over the past 5 years.
So you took 10% of that?
Took 10% of it.
So you kind of looked at it from an operational standpoint and said, how can I make this part of the business better?
100%.
It's very smart.
Yeah, because like you have to even take into consideration, there's like tenants increases every year.
True.
3%, 2% CPI, whatever.
Okay.
If you're doing it in a book, how are you going to know if the tenant's increase came up? So I'm going after people, and like major corporations, you haven't paid increases for 5 years. You forgot January 2010's rent. And they're like, oh, well, prove it to us. Oh, now it's my accounting software. Here you go.
Oh, because you're saying manually, yeah.
Yeah, what are you going to do? Here's my books.
Read my journal that was 8 years long.
Exactly. So that was, and I loved accounting. I was a nerd. I put music in my ears. Like, I love that stuff.
So upping the operations, looking at the operations as a whole, saying how can we add some software, some ways to make this more efficient. Right. Was there anything else?
Yeah, beautifying properties.
Okay.
That was something that was really detrimental to the success of some of these developers. They're like, well, let's wait till we get a tenant and then we'll improve it. I'm like, listen, fuckface. If somebody walks to the building and thinks it looks like shit, or the space looks like it has mold, or the bathroom's falling apart, someone may not lease the property because it doesn't look good. A lot of people I've learned over this period of time in my career is a lot of people don't have vision.
Yeah.
They want it given to them, beautiful, pretty, simple, and done. They don't want to think about I have to fix this or clean that up or what else am I missing. It's a bad representation. So spend a little bit of money on TLC to make things look prettier, more sophisticated, and that's going to go much further, not only from getting somebody in the door, but also leasing people so other spaces get leased faster. So,
True.
Because when someone sees, oh, well, that guy just moved in. Oh, I want it. Oh, no, I want it.
It's like a FOMO.
It's a FOMO.
Yeah. So you're saying that naturally these guys were just not renovating until they had tenants.
Yeah. Or a tenant would come to them and say, well, you have to do this, this, and this, then I'll take it. But
yeah, that's backwards, I would feel. I mean, like, you need a first impression.
It still happens.
Wow.
It still happens.
That I think is even kind of, and again, you tell me, you're in the industry, but it has to do with even laziness and maybe budget as well. They don't want to spend right off the bat.
So one thing that I think changed that's different with me versus most developers, they don't understand one simple concept: time value of money. Mm-hmm. If you can lease a property faster, you can refi faster. If you lease a property faster, you can sell faster. Mm-hmm. If you lease a property faster, you get income faster.
Yeah.
So you thinking ass backwards of, oh, I'll just wait, don't worry, somebody will come, we'll get there soon. Like it's nonsense.
Doesn't make, because then you're next door renovating.
Right.
And now that person's going there.
You won't be able to compete with somebody like me. And that's why when I was the disruptor of shopping centers, was one of the biggest things that I got into was you're not going to beat me with better quality and faster. And whenever there's, because commercial real estate's a really old man's game.
Yeah, it is.
It's not young and innovative like the tech world. It's like a bunch of corporations that it's one of 30, 50 properties that they own, or the family that's owned it for the past 50 years is just collecting a check and don't give a shit.
True.